This is my second speech for my Intro to Communications class. A lot of us have had memorable vacations, and mine have definitely been my 2 vacations to Mazatlan, Mexico. I really enjoyed my vacations in Mazatlan for many reasons, including the warm climate, beautiful beaches, the history there, and many other great reasons. In this speech, I plan on talking about and informing you about the many great things with Mazatlan. I vacationed in Mazatlan, Mexico in the winters of 2004 and 2006. I was only 9 and 11 years old back then and didn't really know a whole lot about Mexico's climate, culture, or even where exactly Mazatlan, Mexico was. Mazatlan is on the west coast of Mexico, so it's on the Pacific, it borders the Pacific Ocean, and it's about halfway down the country if you were to look at a map for it. According to All About Mazatlan's website article, Mazatlan, Mexico, the yearly average temperature ranges from about 68 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And I can definitely kind of vouch for that the temperature doesn't really fluctuate a whole lot there. It was really comfortable there in the winter, but you can definitely notice, I've been told that you can definitely notice a rise in temperature in the summers. And regarding the environment of Mazatlan, we can see, especially when we got off the plane, that's about 10 miles away from the city, that it kind of seems a little bit kind of grassland mixed with desert. But as you got into the city, it got kind of more tropical, a little more cooler, and the beaches were really nice and everything. And a thing that I really liked was that the air seemed really clean. You could tell that there wasn't a lot of pollution. There isn't a whole lot of traffic in the city, since most of the inner city is mostly tourists there. And a lot of times they'll ride in palmanillas, which are little taxi cabs that are basically golf carts that go around and playing music and taxi people around the city for you. There are a lot of hotels on the coast in Mazatlan. The 2 that we stayed in were the El Cid, which in Spanish means the inn, and the Holiday Inn there. There's a lot of different tourist attractions there, most of them regarding the beach, like parasailing, surfing, and jet skiing, but a lot of other different ones like horseback riding, fishing, golfing, four-wheeling, and a lot of different stuff that you can do there. Probably the most memorable thing about it there would be the beaches. That was my first time ever seeing the ocean when I went down there, and it was a really great experience. And Wikitravel's article about Mazatlan states, "The miles of beach have plenty to keep most people occupied. Jet skiing, water skiing, and parasailing are all available." This is definitely true. And as I said before, probably the most memorable part of my trips was being on the beautiful beaches and all the fun things to do there. Since there's a lot of tourists, there's a lot of different kinds of restaurants in Mexico as well. There's some like Señor Frog's, which is kind of like just a party place. A lot of kids like, and later at night adults can like it too. There's a lot more casual places, like one that I remember called Mr. Oz, which was really, really great food and good service. You can be outside and look at the beach and the ocean from the balcony they had. And they have a lot of international food too. A lot of it's kind of Mexican, like tacos and like spicy things like that. But there's so many different places to eat down there that you can always find something different when you're down there. A bit about kind of the history and locals of Mazatlan. The locals that we saw there usually live on the outskirts of town in the suburbs, and they're usually lower middle class families. Some of them work in the hotels as cleaning people or kind of the greeting people as you get in the hotel. A lot of other ones work in the different restaurants, and a lot of other times you can see them as vendors on the beaches and the streets selling fruit, candy, and a lot of different souvenirs that you can buy. Mazatlan has a pretty unique history that's made it the way that it is. Paraphrasing some info from Moz Travel's article, A History of Mazatlan, it was originally settled by Spaniards in 1531 and became a pretty big port on the Pacific coast. In the early 1600s, gold and silver was discovered very close to the city, and Mazatlan became home to many hopeful miners. Finally, in 1806, the city was incorporated, and just a few years later, a municipal government was established in the city. Immigration in the city started to pick up dramatically after that and became an even bigger seaport for international trade. Wars against the U.S. and France in the 19th century, though, led to the closing of the port, and that affected the city quite a bit. Since then, though, it's become one of the biggest shrimp and tuna fishing spots in the world, and like I've been telling you about, it is also a world-class tourist resort. And I think we can all agree that vacations are a great and memorable experience. My vacations in Mazatlan, Mexico are definitely my favorite for many reasons. The warm climate, beautiful beaches, history, and a lot of other great reasons contributed to my awesome experience there. I've really enjoyed being able to reminisce back to the great times, and I hope that I can vacation there again someday. Here's my audience. Here are my notes and sources.